Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new video in the Diwani Jelly script. In today's lesson we are going to talk about letters Sad, Dad, Va and Ta. Now those four letters are basically the same. We will start with 2 points, horizontal, next to each other. And we are going to add another 2 for a certain measurement that we are going to see right now. So for these 2 or 4 letters, what happens is that we hold the pen in a vertical way, and this vertical way gives you a thin line going upward. So what you will do is that you will use these 2 points as a boundary for your movement to the right, but you will use this 1 point for the amount of height for the letter, as we can see here. Now we basically moved up, then to the right. You have to move up to get a good amount of a thin part for the letter here. Now once you stop here, you add a point inside like an eye, and you will curve down and go to the left, just like this. Now the space here would be also 1 point between the letter and the nabira. We are writing Sad, by the way. So you will notice that here the pen is sort of inclined a bit more than when we started with the letter itself. And that's how it should look like, because you start here, you go to the right, and the natural movement of your hand will result into this angle. Don't resist it. Keep it as it is, so that when you come back, the angle here, since it's also shallow, the starting point of it will give you this nice, let's say, roundation of the curve. Now here you will notice that the side looks as if it's looking downward, and this is important. You want it to look downward. The negative space, the white area inside, is like an eye. And once you finish those 2 moves, the first one and the second one, you move on to the cup, which is similar to the scene, the previous video. You will drag this down a bit, down to the half point here, and you would continue with the same scales that we talked about, which is going down to the 2.5, down here to the midpoint, then curving back up just like this, and finally using the tip of the pen to add a nice decoration up here. Now this is a Sad, and yes, it might look as if it's inclined. That's because the whole script is inclined. The Dad would be the same thing, but you would add a dot up here. The Va and the Ta are also similar to the Sad and Dad, but what happens here is that we do the same moves, which is 2 points and 2 points, but the Ta has to look shallower than the Sad. It has to look cheekier. So when you go down, you would do the same move as an Alif, the end of an Alif, just like this, and the space inside would be slightly smaller than the Sad or the Dad. Now the extension here would be 2 points after the Ta, and the second move of the Ta is exactly the same one as the Alif and Ra and Dal and everything. So you've got similarities between the letters, so keep that in mind. Again, you would rotate the pen and color this edge down here. Finally, you would add an Alif up here for the Ta or the Va. And with regards to the Alif, you would add a decoration too, and some people would put it with with this edge, so it would look as if it's going down and smoothly joining this first move of the Ta. Others put it here in the middle, so it's a personal preference, I guess, or like a style, and the dot would come up here. Now those 4 letters, Sad, Dad, Ta and Va, connect in a different way. So when we connect them, the Ba takes the high shape, as we said in the previous one, like the scene one, and for this one you would have to have the Sad and the Ta at least 1 point away from the letter. So after this 1 point, what you would do for the connection down here is that you would rotate the pen so that when you do your Sad or Ta, it will smoothly join with the line down here, as you can see. This way you could easily join the ba to the sad. And this would be, as what we said before, high, and the curve would be pointing downward, just in case. So this is with regards to connecting it from the right. From the left, it would be the same thing. You don't forget about the nabila for the sad. So for example, I'm going to change to a smaller pen to be able to write bigger words. And for this one, we are going to write the word basis, which means a very small amount. So basis amal, sort of a hint of hope or something like that. So we would start with a ba, going down, and we would take the pen down here so that when we connect the sad, it will smoothly join. We go up for the sad, then we come back, and as you can see here, it's not objecting anything, so this line sort of joins to this line, and this line you could add some ink to it to make it smoother. And ba sad ya sad. So here what you have to do is stop, do the sin for the sad, then do the ya. And the reason why I changed the shape of the ya here is because I thought it would be nicer to have a change, and it would look in a way neater. So ba ya sad, ba sad ya and sad. And you would continue it like we said before. You could also change into the other shape. So for example, instead of having this to be the high one, you could have the nabila for the sad to be high. The thing is that you shouldn't forget about the sad and having a nabila. Again, the curvature of the diwani is still here. We could also write the word tabib, which means doctor. And for that one, you will see that the difference between sad and ta is the nabila. So ta and ba, then I'm going down, and then I'm going back with a ba. And here you have the alif for the ta. So what I've done here basically is that I went up for a ba, then I went down with a ya, that is smooth. Finally, I've got the ba here. And in a way, you should keep an eye, as we said, about the nabilat. Let's see another word, which is yasdah. Yasdah is to raise the voice of something or to scream it. We've got a ya. I'm using ya and ba just to sort of make you remember that you need to use a high connection with these letters. Ya, sad. And here again, with regards to the nabila of the sad, then the dal. And finally the ha, if you want to practice the ha letter. If it was a ra yusarrih, things will get different. I know I keep repeating myself with regards to these notes, but you can't believe how important they are. Yusarrih, you would stop, go up, and then come back. You could have this shape if you want to. You've got only one nabila for the sad, or you could just go up with regards to the sad and come down like this. This is for with regards to the connection of sad and ta and the dad, the same thing. So yeah, with the dad you just add a dot right here. There is a shape that you might see sometimes, which would be for the sad and the dad, they will add the nabila inside, just like this. For example, sadid. The nabila sometimes they add inside. Also, you will find that some shapes are not as sharp as these ones. You will find some sads that are very roundy and smooth, just like this. So don't be fussed about it. What you should have is a unified sads and dads and ta and dhats throughout your piece, but it doesn't matter if it was curvy or sharp. Personally, I prefer the sharp ones. It's a personal preference for me. So yeah, there you go. We have the sad, da, ta and dha, 4 letters, all the same, but a bit different. Make sure to practice them and connect them to whatever letters we've already learned. Don't forget that with the letter Ha, you have two shapes. As we said before, with the word Sahih, you could have this one or have the other rounded shape, this one. Your nabira for the Sad would work as a connection to the Ha. Meanwhile, if you were to write Tahin, the Ta doesn't have a nabira, so it will have to change into this move, so that your shapes would be consistent and you will have a nice connection between them. So don't confuse a Ta with a Sad. Alright, I hope this was helpful, and see you in the next video. This has been Ammar Al-Audi. Like, share and subscribe to the channel, and have a lovely day, evening or night. Goodbye.